So today I thought I would do an FAQ type of video for Ultra Impact. I haven't done an FAQ in ages. I haven't even done an FAQ about myself in general. But usually I answer questions about my life and stuff in my Twitch chat. So if you want to check me out live, twitch.tv/JPhanta, link in the description. Anyway, it's been about a month since the game has been released, and I thought I would. And I still get some of these questions quite a lot in the comment section. Obviously, I reply to as many comments as possible, but sometimes, you know, depending on how I wake up that day, you know, I can't be bothered typing the same answer every single time. So I thought I would make this video, and then maybe if you see people in the comment section that have the question that I answer, then you can link them to this video. And some of these things are tips where I couldn't put it into a proper whole video because it would only be like a minute long. And I feel like you guys deserve better than a 1-minute video every single day for Ultra Impact. Anyway, let's jump into it. We'll be like switching from like me talking to gameplay here and there. So let's start off with one of the biggest questions is, how do I get more gems? I felt like that was the biggest one. I spend all my gems. I don't have anywhere else to grind. What can I do to get more gems? So obviously daily, there's always daily missions. Oh, it's not as much as you'd want it to be, of course. So in the daily missions, you get 10 for completing all of it, and 3 for doing main quest 3 times, 2 for doing 5 level ups. So you get 15 gems per day through the daily mission. Depending on if there's these celebrations on, there's like 50 gems per day sometimes. I think every Saturday there's 50 gems to be hold. So add that to the counter. A lot of people ask me, how much do you get per month? Dude, I'm not good at maths. I'm not an accountant. You go calculate it yourself. Go find a Reddit person that has figured that out, right? I ain't that guy. But so those are the daily missions. Sometimes you have special missions here and there. It all depends on the, of course, time of year. Whether it's like, I don't know, Chinese New Year or something ridiculous, or Christmas or whatever. Now, obviously, the people that ask these questions have already finished quest mode, but remember, you still have VE Tower to complete. So, VE Tower, make sure you complete all the different stages, all the different difficulties as well. And, of course, remember to do the Tower Challenges, alright? Tower Challenges, you get another 150 if you make it to the 13th. Now, to be fair, that is pretty hard to get to the 13th table. But 150s, 150s, 3 singles, and they don't expire or anything like that. You can get it at your own pace. And I think the biggest, most consistent way of getting endgame gems, other than like the story events, the daily stuff like that, the next best thing is upgrading your characters. So what I mean by that is the ability board system. Every time you complete a ability board table, you will get 10 gems. So everybody has 9 here for a UR, so that is 90 gems. Now, this gets accelerated if you use an orb here, but UR orbs have not been unlocked as of time of this recording. SR's a little bit more different, so, you know, they're easier to upgrade, less materials required. Some have already have their own ability orbs, which is really nice, so it's just easy gems. The SR Cami, which is the event's free play card right now, you're easily able to get an extra 90 gems because of her. And then there's ability orbs that you can get from the USJ store for specific characters. Now, the best way to do this, if you have been playing for like maybe a month or 2 now, you should have enough materials if you've been like constantly farming the events, like keep doing the lottery events and everything like that. You should have a decent amount of materials to be at least start doing like the rare units to number 3. I think once you hit number 3, when you start using these bronze items, that's too far for rares, because you're wasting items for a character you probably never use. But if you think about it, there's a lot of rare characters in here, and then you times it by 30. What's that? Per 6, that's 180 on this line. You know, 360 from 3 lines. You already got more than a multi. They're adding characters every single second week, I guess, and they'll include SRs, and some SRs you might go past the 4th table even, so you got to consider that. You get a lot of gems through the ability board. It's just you require a lot of stamina usage for it, but still, gems are gems. Now, moving on from that question, how far should I go with the ability board? I have this blank character. How far do I get? I only have 3 URs. Should I upgrade those 3 URs to max and then work on my other 2 URs that I have in the box? My answer is never, ever, especially if you're free to play. It is actually, even if you're whale, it's never worth it to 100% a unit. Alright? PvP is the only reason why you would want to 100% a unit, but like, you can just cherry pick your opponent, pick a lower BP than you, so it doesn't even really matter. Only some characters have worth it for 8 table. Alright? Only some characters are worth the 8 table. Usually, there's a lot of cards in the UR list that are worth it on the 7 table, and then some don't even go past the 6 table. I only go to the 6 table if I want to just awaken the art, and usually it's for a showcase and stuff like that. But some don't even bother to even get to this point, because if you're not upgrading to 7th, 8th, or 9th, I guess, then there's no point to awaken the unit other than a sick art. And maybe you might like the unawakened art better. If you want more immediate effects, you definitely use the peace route instead, if the character does not worth the 6th table. How do you know if a character is worth the 6th table? I basically rule it as, do the cooldowns of my moves reduce by 1 turn if I awaken this certain table part of the ability board. For example, this Darby here, alright, I haven't touched him at all. His first skill is a 5-turn cooldown, alright? And remember, his second skill is a 5-turn cooldown. Now, if we go to his ability board here, on table 5 is when the skill gets upgraded, and it gets a 3-turn cooldown at level 3. I believe it's like 2, where it becomes a 1, whatever. Was it this one? Becomes a 1? Oh, yeah. So this is where it gets level 2. So it goes from a 4 to a 3 in table 5. And then when I look at table 7, which will go through the second action skill, it doesn't reduce in cooldown. If you remember, it was a 5-turn cooldown to begin with. So in this case, if I really needed Darby, which I'll get into if you really need a character, I would upgrade him to table 5 maximum. And then, because you need the awakening, I would get his shards, which only cost 10. But if I wanted to upgrade him any further, I would use the purple ability board after that. Now, this deviated from the original question, but I just wanted to be as thorough as possible, I guess. How do you know if you need them, okay? So, it all depends on the VE tower stage. Do you need that certain typing, I guess, is what you really should ask for. Do you need this certain ability from the character? So, Darby's a burner here. Do I need a blue burner? Even though he has a side effect of burning himself. For example, there's a red stage. Maybe you were so close to beating it and you realize that if I had a burn proc, you might have won. Maybe that's a good point where you want to upgrade. Or, you know, if you can't afford like upgrading your existing URs, I guess, then consider that. SRs are only useful majority of the time, 99.9% of the time are only useful for VE towers. So consider that when upgrading your SR characters. Am I going to use them in VE tower? This endeavor has been used quite a lot for my end here. He's a nice burner with an AoE, so he's able to get some burn procs, which is very nice. That's the reason why I bring him to VE tower, which is why I've got him to level 75. When it comes to URs, if you only have a select few, then, you know, you shouldn't be in this issue. But the original question was like, I have 3 URs. Should I upgrade those to the max and then my last 2? No. The answer is no. You spread them all out because it is not worth it to go to the 9th table. Who would I suggest going to the 8th table, though? It would be like units where they support. So Aizawa is a pro hero support. On his 8th table, he gets the... It's not even actually worth it, but it's just whatever. On his 8th table, he increases this passive skill, which is it becomes a 30% pro hero support. That's probably as far as I'd go, because at least that buffs the whole entire team. Even then, like, even 7 tables kind of realistically max. Like, you don't really need the extra 5% power. Like, people... There's a certain point in the game where power or a certain amount of damage that a unit can provide or support is just redundant. The game has a max cap of 99,000, so what's the point of trying to hit the max cap every single time the bosses... Like, there's no boss that needs you to do 99,000 damage every single time. VE Tower requires you to do all sorts of different things, to climb up hills, you know, dig through tunnels and everything like that in order to score high. USJ, you can beat at level 5 with like level 85 units, you know, 7 tables, no problemo. And PvP, you cherry pick your opponent so that you pick always the weak one, so you never need the highest upgraded thing, unless you're trying to like prove a point or something that you're the best, and you always pick secrets, then maybe that's when you start upgrading. I would say, at the end of the day, just upgrade who you think you're going to use in PvP a lot, the most. I hope I answered that question. I probably just went on a tangent. But anyway. Now, the next one is, should I summon for blank blank? And I say no. Okay, we're so close to the first year anniversary that you need to keep saving your gems. It's only if you are like a first week player is when you should consider summoning for a character. All right, but you don't summon for the specific character, all right? You only summon just to pull more URs. That's the plan here. And you got to set a limit for yourself, all right? You want to have a good amount of gems for the first year anniversary. So try to, like, say you rerolled for 3 UR characters. Maybe when you start playing the game, gather your gems from your quest or something like that. Pull another, like, 3, 4 more UR characters. That's pretty much it. And then start saving, like, hard save for the first year anniversary. I think 6 URs plus is a pretty good spot. It should give you, hopefully, like, averagely, you should have, like, a diverse set of units or of different typing so that VE Tower becomes easy. You get a decent amount of hero medals because of your summons. You got decent medal. You get a decent memory selection. You get, hopefully, a decent SR selection. That should be a good enough point. If you're free to play, you're obviously not trying to be number 1 at anything. So, you know, you can take your time. As long as you beat 1 stage of USJ at level 5, that's more than enough. That's more than enough. And you should be easily able to do that with the Awakening missions, which I've already done. Which should get your chosen character to level 90 or whatever it is. And a good amount of an 8th ability board as well. So try to work around with that character when it comes to USJ. And then once you get to that point, you'd be like, how do I get more hero medals? To get hero medals, you need to summon and get duplicate characters. That's the easiest, most effortless way of getting hero medals, right? Every duplicate rare you get 2 hero medals. Every duplicate SR you get 20 medals. And then every duplicate UR unit you get 80 medals. But there's other ways, and that's just through the gear shop here. So every month, all right, every month, when it says first day, 1 day, 000, it means the first of every month. The limited stuff that are labeled on the top left will refresh. So, you know, the tickets will come back every month, which is 5 right there. The golden helmet, the jelly, and then here's the hero medals. All of this costs about 10k PvP arena coins if you want all the summons, the 1 limited super gadget, the jelly, and then the medals. You get 180 from this bunch, which is quite a lot. That should get your character to at least level 85, level 90. And then you can just replenish by buying this SR Bakugo. This is probably the cheapest way. 500 USJ coins is absolutely nothing. You just purchase them. Use 500 UA medals. And then because I already have him, this will become 20 stars due to possession limit because you can only have 1 character in your box. So that's a cheap way of doing it. I'm not going to do it here. But that goes the same as VE Tower. If you've somehow gathered every single thing in this, and you have 8,000 to spare, you can theoretically buy the All Might for 8,000, which is definitely not worth it, and get 80 medals. I've done that once, honestly, on my JP account. So yeah, those are the ways to get hero medals, especially for those that are saving their gems for the 1 year anniversary. I got 2 more questions that I think I should cover. VE Tower strategies. So VE Tower is obviously a very difficult mode. Every single VE Tower stage has their own kind of deal. Like Aizawa here, he, you know, seals and stuff like that. You know, brings stunners. People that can avoid skill attacks is probably the best. Make sure to use your boost characters. If you have any boost characters, it's going to help you a lot. I think a general thing that is really good for VE Tower are utilize your SRs that can lower attack, such as the Mineta, the purple Mineta, wherever he is. This guy lowers attack like no tomorrow. lower attack by 15%, lower power by 25%, 25%. Jesus, this is a lot. Have abilities that can freeze, such as Todoroki, that will save you a turn from a skill chain, or burn. As long as not one of those VE towers that reduces burn damage by like 80%, like burn and freeze are really good stuff. Freeze will allow you to stay alive for the extra turn. Freeze and burn will do a lot of damage. And that goes with bleed. So just try to utilize status effects. That's going to help you out tremendously. If you want to know all the details for the status effects, I think you go to help here. And then battle. And then skill effects here. See, there you go. Continuous damage, burn, bleed, action restriction. So, bind is okay. Paralyze is meh. Meat lump. I don't think any character has meat lump yet. Frozen, which is good. Confusion is very good. Skill seals are really good. I like the joke when somebody asks, how do I beat VE Tower? I just say, eyes were everything. Fear is decent if you can proc that. And Charm's the new thing, which might be handy. We're not really too sure yet. So yeah, just keep in mind of all of these different restrictions. Take advantage of them, and the continuous damage ones. And the lowering power. That's also good. I can't really explain. If you want more details of how I beat VE Tower stages, I'm uploading every single one of my VE Tower runs that I got in S difficulty throughout these days. So far, from recording this video, I've uploaded Stain. I think I've uploaded Shigaraki's, Endeavors, and Stains. And also keep type advantage in mind. The more type advantage you have, the better, experience you're going to have for tanking and doing damage. Or you can just brute force and max level 100 every single one of your URs. Alright, and then the last thing is, what are your thoughts of the pity system, the summon system? I think a lot of people have realized, like, oh man, these summon rates, these pity rates is pretty bad. Alright, and I agree with you, alright, to some extent. Okay, to some extent. As somebody who has wasted thousands of gems pulling for Todoroki and gone to pity myself, yes, the summons are pretty bad. But again, they're pretty generous for the most part as well, if you think about it. Okay, so one thing, SRs are good in this game. Like, what the heck? What other game? It's so rare to have another gacha game that SRs are actually usable in, like, actual content of the game. So, keep that in mind. Alright? Yes, I feel like they should maybe separate memories and characters in separate things. That probably would be the best. Obviously, I'm looking this as the mind of the consumer. Drop rates. The drop rate is not bad, okay? 2% always 2%, right? But you've got to think that you only need to pull the character once. And then that is it. To maximize the unit, you only need to pull it once. Token Battle, you need to pull it 5 times. 7 Deadly Sins, I don't know, 6 times? I don't know, I never played that game. Genshin Impact, 5 million times, I don't know. So consider that. And when it comes to like single featured units, the rates are pretty good. Like 0.7. Like the trap banners are the ones where there's like 3 units, like the World Heroes missions. But the World Heroes mission units gets a pass because they are limited, alright? Still a trap, however, but because they're limited, there is a reason why to keep on summoning. 0.23% is pretty horrible. The rates are just horrible. For splitting them into 3, it's really tough to get the one you really want. And the only one you really want is the Todoroki. If I put Todoroki in my first summoning session, I would have not kept summoning on this banner. I would... Dead honest. Same goes as the VE Tower units here. They have a 0.175, which is even more ridiculous. So, when it comes to summoning, try to summon on, like, the ones where there's only one character featured. You're more likely to pull that one. If you're trying to pull unfeatured units, then technically you go for these ones, because that's worth it. Anyway, that was kind of off topic here. But at the end of the day, it is pretty generous, 2% for the single. The single, I'm only talking about the single. Maybe these ones are not worth the summons. The split ones, they're not worth the summon. But the single ones is worth it, alright? It's okay. I think, though, that the exchange, like the actual point system, that needs to change, alright? Not the 300 points. I think it's okay with 300 points. If you either do two things. You lower the pity points required for said character, especially the ones where they are not limited. Like, that's a ripoff. I will be completely honest. That is a complete ripoff. 300 points for Denki is not worth it at all, knowing that he comes back in the next banner, and the next banner, and the next banner, and the future banners forever and ever and ever. 300 points for, like, World Heroes Mission Todoroki, who's limited, who doesn't come back. That's worth it. That is worth it. So you either lower the general stuff that you know they're coming back. So like from 300 to like 150 or something. Because, Denki's trash anyway. And then keep it, resets on the banner, right? You either do that or the better situation, I think, would be the pity, like, continuously, like, transfers over. So my 1 point here, my 5 points here, carries on to the next banner. It does cause an issue to the point, like, what happens if there's multiple banners. So you just, like, have this all combined. Like, I summon on this banner, I get 1 point from there. I can use the 1 point on here. That's pretty much it. I feel like that's the best case scenario. And you gotta remember, you can daily single for free. Like, if you add that to how much I get gems per day, like, if you consider that, that's extra 50 gems per day. I know Dokkan doesn't give me 5 gems per day. 5 Dragonstones per day. Only on a celebration, maybe. So, like, in the grand scheme of things, the game is free to play. I feel like the cards itself is just not worth it. Until they hit limited units is, like, when I feel like you guys would, like, start to agree on what, the system and stuff like that a little bit more. But because they're not limited, it's just, like, it really is not a good system at all. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough. It's been over 20 minutes for this video. If you have any more questions, maybe I should do this more often about the game. I don't even do this for Dokkan Battle. I feel like we've gone... Dokkan Battle being 7 years old is, like, there's nothing to talk about other than, like, oh, the pity... There's no pity system, add a pity system. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you do enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on for daily Ultra Impact content. Till the next one, stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace out.